Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Call to Carry On. My name is Caitlin Narvez,
I am Haley Knipe.
and we are so excited to be with you guys today. Oh my gosh, it has been a great week, and conference happened for us, so we are
Yes.
so happy about that.
Spiritual nourishment.
Spiritual nourishment.
What
It
we
was
need.
so good.
So freaking good.
Yeah. So we are super excited. We actually are going to kind of talk about conference a little bit and get into something that we really loved. So yeah.
Yeah, we love conference so much. Just like we said in the last episode, like it always gives you that spiritual nourishment that you need and like that spiritual boost. But yeah, we just love conference so much, and it's just a time to come closer to Jesus Christ, and I feel like that always does the job for everybody. So,
Oh yeah.
yeah. But today we wanted to talk about the talk by President Nelson called Think Celestial.
So good.
It is so good. And so if you didn't listen to conference or if you didn't hear that talk yet, pretty much President Nelson, he asks us to, when we're confronted with things, to think celestial. And were you gonna say
Yeah.
something?
Oh no, I was just gonna say, like, this is a really big topic, and especially when I heard it, I was like, oh my gosh, what the like? It's so simple yet so profound. Like, we think about all of these things that we do, and our thoughts mean so much.
Yeah.
And I think that this was a really good talk, especially for me, coming off my mission, as well as like living life, like just to have this spiritual
Yes.
aspect of life that is the main reason why we are doing things. Like, we have to have this spiritual mindset. And so thinking celestial has been like really big, I think.
Yes, definitely.
And it was I was like, oof, I needed that.
Same. It was funny because last week I was going through this, like, it's not a midlife crisis because I'm literally 20, but it was like a 20 life crisis. And like, it just felt like everything was falling apart. And I was just like so mad at some people. And I was just like, what the crap? And then he was like, if you're angry, think celestial. And I was like, freaking heck. Like, I just want to be mad. But like, it's so true. Like, when you are angry or when you do have like things happen to you, like, think celestial. And I thought it was really cool because there's this paragraph that I wanted to read from his talk. And it says, when you're confronted with a dilemma, think celestial. When tested by temptation, think celestial. When life or loved ones let you down, think celestial. When someone dies prematurely, think celestial. When someone lingers with a devastating illness, think celestial. When the pressures of life crowd in upon you, think celestial. As you recover from an accident or injury, as I am doing now, think celestial. So if you don't know President Nelson, he ended up falling and hurting himself. So he had to do this whole talk online. And so I thought it was really cool that he said, as I am doing now. Like, he was including himself in this, saying, like, we all need to think celestial, like, me included.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I think that that's really, hearing from someone who, like, so, if you don't know, President Nelson he's an older man. He's elderly. He is 99. And so for him to fall, like, that's a pretty serious issue. And
Big impact on his life.
Yeah, he can't walk. It was about, what? I think it was 3 weeks ago?
It's now like 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's been about a month since the actual accident or incident occurred. And so for him to still do this, props to him.
For
but
real.
Also, like, it's so true. There's so many things that happen to us. Like, I think I have had every single one of the things that he was telling us, like, tempted, when we're tempted by temptation, when we are, injured, when we are, when we lose a loved one, all of these things, or when you are confronted with anger, a dilemma, things like that. Like, all of these things we've all experienced, and there's a solution to that.
Yeah.
And it's to think celestial.
Exactly. And I just wanted to share, like, the very last sentence spoke so clearly to me. Like, I related to this sentence so much when he says, as you recover from an accident or injury, as I'm doing now, think celestial. And it like meant so much to me that he included that, because a week prior I had gotten double knee surgery on my knees, and I was
tough girl right here. Tough girl.
But I got knee surgery so that I could go back out on my mission. If you don't know, I had to come home early to get knee surgery. So I'm working on getting back out on my mission, hopefully in a couple months. But it's really been hard being home, and like we didn't have answers for a while. Like we were getting close, but it was never like, this is gonna like hopefully fix it, you know? And so I was having a really hard time like thinking celestial through my injury, because I was like, what the heck? Like I had to come home, and what am I doing? I'm literally sitting on my phone watching TV, like, and I was so upset about it. And I was also really upset because that whole week I just had to lay in bed because I literally couldn't walk. And I was like, not getting frustrated with God, but I was just like, why me? Like, you know, throwing a pity party. I was like, why me?
Normal.
I'm 20 years old, and this is my 3rd and 4th knee surgery. And I was like, this isn't normal. This isn't a normal life. Like, this shouldn't be happening to me. And then if you've ever seen The Chosen, you've seen the scene where Jesus talks to little James, and he's talking to him about how he's not going to heal him yet. And as I was like throwing this pity party for myself, that came into my mind where he tells little James, like, you may not be healed now, but, you know, before you know it, you will leap like a deer. And how amazing is it that you can still testify of God, that he is amazing, that he provides miracles, that he, you know, does things, and that I do these things as well when I haven't healed you yet. And like that came into my mind.
Powerful.
And I was like, whoa. Like I needed to go through that to have a celestial outlook on what had happened to me.
Yeah.
And so I just think it's so cool, because as soon as I switched my mindset to a celestial mindset of, oh, wow, like now when I'm teaching dance, I can help my students. And I know like, oh, they actually might be hurting, or they might actually have this structural thing that's different than other people, or, you know, and it's like, it's going to help me with my job. It's going to help me when I go back out on my mission. Just like,
you're going to understand people.
Exactly. I'm going to understand. And I don't know. I just feel like once I switched to thinking celestial, then everything got better. And I was like, I'm actually so grateful that I came home at this time, because I got the best doctors. I got the best physical therapists. Like I got people who actually knew what they were doing and like knew exactly how to help me. Whereas if this would have happened a year ago, I wouldn't have had those people. So it's like, you know, even if I had to come home, like it is God's plan. And so thinking celestial, like thanking God for putting you through trials.
Oh, yeah.
You know, all these trials that he listed, like thanking him and thinking celestial about it.
Yeah. And there's so much to be said about like thinking celestial, in the sense of it's not just like it's opening your heart and your mind to a higher power, and it's opening your heart and your mind to God, saying, you know, I understand that this is what you need from me right now. Or this is something that I need right now, even though I don't want it. Like, that's something for me that I have been struggling with a lot, is trying to figure out what is needed of me. What am I supposed to be doing? Like, how can I do these things? Like, what is it? And it's on, like, you know, I've been like practicing this for a week since General Conference has it's been almost 2 weeks now, and thinking celestially has been really powerful. Like, I do forget some days, you know, like the rest of us do.
You're human, what?
But the first couple of days where I was like, this is something that I want to change, I had such a really powerful experience with. I was just struggling with relationship, you know, with friends and with people, and just like in general alone. Like, I was just like, I feel so out of place right now. And it was like, I was like, I don't know what's going on. Like, how do I deal with this stuff? And so I thought came to mind to just be like, what did President Nelson say? And it was to think celestial. And like, I was like, wow, this is something so like, I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? People are change and are different, but that's okay. Like, that's what I need from you, is to learn how to interact with people and how to be someone that is an example to other people. And so as I've been trying to think celestially, let me tell you, it's very difficult, especially like when you're so focused on like the world and things like that.
Yeah.
Like it can be really hard, but there's power in taking a step back and recognizing and remembering that Jesus Christ is there for you. His atonement is powerful, and it gives you hope and direction in places where you may not have that hope and direction.
No, I love that. When you feel like all is lost, he'll give you that hope and direction that you're looking for, that you don't even know like where to search for.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, that's how I felt for the longest time. I was like, okay, I have no idea what's happening, so I was just like, okay, God, here you go.
Yeah.
Like, take it, because I don't know what to do with my life anymore. And like, he really does. He takes it and he's like, okay, I'm gonna help you.
Oh
like,
yeah.
And through Christ's atonement, like, we're able to, like, you know, start over and try again and again and again and again and until we can try to get it right to the best of our abilities here on earth. But I think it's such a beautiful thing that, you know, we're able to come closer to him and thank him as we're coming closer to him. Because the only way to come closer, I don't know, personally, I feel like, is going through trials. Because if you don't go through any trials, then, you know, it's like the pride cycle. Like, you're like, oh, I don't need God. Like, I'm doing great without him. So it's like, God's going to humble you and be like, oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, really? Okay.
So it's like, when you get closer to God, like, it's when you're going through those moments of like, I don't have anybody, I need someone. And then you think, oh, I have God. You know, I have Jesus Christ, he's my brother, and he's there for me. And I don't know, I just think that's so cool that they're always there for us. So.
Oh, yeah. Like, and this is something too, like, even when this is something that I've also been struggling with, but it's helped in this aspect of thinking celestially, is I've been trying to ask God for answers to particular questions in my life. Like, what direction am I supposed to be going in? Yeah. And so I'm like asking him, and I keep asking, and I haven't gotten an answer yet. And oh, holy cow, how frustrating is that? Yes. I'm like, what do you mean? I'm doing my best. I literally am asking you to tell me what to do.
You're like, please
answer me. Yeah. And this whole thing, this was something that was really interesting too, is thinking celestially, is that God gave us agency.
Yep.
And he gave us choices so that we can choose for ourselves. And he's not going to bypass our agency, even if we want him to.
Yeah.
Like, literally, I've been asking him for weeks, just tell me what to do, and I'll do it. Just tell me what to do, and I'll do it.
Mm-hmm. You're like, I have faith. Just tell me what to do.
Just tell me what to do, and I'll do it. Like, and when I heard this talk, especially, I was like, think celestially. Like, you have to make the choice first. And if it's wrong, I will let you know. If it's right, I will let you know. But you have to choose.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, dang it. Like, it's so hard, because you're like, well, I want to be righteous. I want to do all these good things.
I want to do everything that you need me to do in the right order.
Yeah, like in the right order, so that I have a good life.
Yeah.
But then again, that also takes away my choice to come unto him.
Yeah.
And to be like Jesus, and to think celestial, and to have these experiences, and to go through trials with more faith.
Yeah.
Because, like, I know in my life when I've had trials and, you know, I've chosen for myself to choose God over whatever, like, the temptations or other things are, I'm so much stronger afterwards, because I'm like, I can choose him, and I've chosen him once.
Yeah.
And I can do it again.
Exactly. Yeah. Thinking celestially, too, like just like you said, like, asking God to answer your prayers. Since I've been home, I've been praying, like, every day. Okay, God, do I go back out on my mission? Okay, God, just tell me yes or no, and I'll do it. Like, am I supposed to stay home? Am I supposed to go? Like, am I supposed to help people here? Am I supposed to help people there?
Yeah.
And I was just like, just tell me and I'll do it.
Yeah.
And I hadn't gotten, like, a solid answer, and I was like, okay, time's a ticking. Like, I just got surgery. Like, what do I do? And then, as I was listening to conference, it was really crazy. Like, this wasn't the same talk. It's not Think Celestial, but it was a talk that Elder Rasband gave. And he said, there was a phrase in it where he said something along the lines of, then he was talking about missions. And he said,
yep.
What legacy do you want to leave for generations to come? Your posterity. You know, like, do you want to do you want them to look at your life and see your faith that you had? or do you want them to look at your life and, you know, see other things? And it made me really think. I was like, whoa. Like, I didn't even realize that me going back out on a mission could affect my generations
your
to come.
posterity. Yeah.
Could affect my posterity. And then President Nelson gave this talk, Think Celestial, and I was like, whoa, if you really think about it, like, I don't know, this is a personal revelation I got. Like, if I go back out on my mission, that is a celestial, like, for years to come, my posterity is, hopefully, you know, I'd hope that they would look to me and, like, see, like, wow, like, mom did this, or grandma did that, like, wow, that's so cool that she, you know, her faith, you know, won, pretty much, like, her faith showed through and did these things, and, like, that's, like, a celestial mindset, you know, like, not just, what is this going to do for me, but what is this going to do for my posterity to come, or generations to come, too?
Absolutely.
And so, I don't know, that just kind of, like, clicked for me, and I was like, okay, I got my answer.
Yeah, just like it says, our actions have consequences, and those consequences can last for generations to come. And
they can be good consequences or bad consequences.
Amen.
It's your choice.
Yeah. So with conference, there was just a couple of quotes from particularly this talk from President Nelson that we just kind of wanted to go over because they were so good. So one of my favorite ones is that President Nelson was talking about, like, obedience, right? Yeah. That's one of the first laws of heaven, we know, and it's really important to be obedient to, like, what the Lord says. And he said that obedience paves the way for a joyful life today and a peaceful life tomorrow.
Love that.
I was like, boom, that's so true.
Roast.
Like, it's like we think, oh, well, being obedient, you take away that agency that I kind of talked about earlier. No, it's you're choosing to obey, and it gives you joy. Yes. You know, you feel good by being like, oh my gosh, I'm following these things, and guess what? These things are actually helping my life. Yeah, and you're at peace because you know that you're on the right path. You're on the right track towards doing what's right. And, like, following Christ, man, does life get good when you start to follow Christ. Oh my gosh. You're like, oh, I don't have to worry about the small stuff. Like, this is nice. But a quote that I really liked was, let's see. It says, he's talking about how, you know, we need to make sure that we put God before other things. And when we don't put God before other things, we put, like, you know, work or school or TV or, you know, things like that, how it actually can deeply hurt God. And he said, your obsession becomes your God, and this is why it hurts God. And it, I don't know, that just hit home so much, because I was really caught up in, like, social media again when I got home, and, like, you know, work and making sure that, because we're both social media marketers. Yeah. And so I was like, you know, instead of reading my scriptures, I was like, oh, well, I have to get this post schedules. I have to get this up. I have to do this for my job. And, you know, when he said that, I was like, oh, crap. Like, I was putting my job before God, because reading scriptures is, you know, a form of connecting with God, like it is. And so I was like, oh, shoot. Like, that was me. That's on me. Yep. And so, you know, and even just little things, you know, like watching a show. Like, I get we all need our downtime, but it's like there's a point where you can stop and you can take time for God instead. So, yeah. I do. Oh, yeah. But we wanted to talk about a smile moment, which was so cool. Our smile moment is actually President Nelson talked about smile. Like, he literally said spiritually minded is life eternal. And oh my gosh, both of us, we texted each other immediately. We were like, smile. Like, the prophet literally said spiritually minded is life eternal. And that's a part of thinking celestial. Hashtag catchphrase. So that was really cool to hear from the prophet that, you know, what a smile moment is. Yeah. Spiritually minded is life eternal. Yeah. And that's like what we've been trying to tell people, you know, like, we were like, okay, what is a good phrase? And we thought of this and we were like, oh my gosh, well, we thought of it from our mission. And we were like, we need to include this. And then when he said it, we were like, yes! We just got the prophet's approval. And that's really cool. Like, it was just it made me feel like, okay, I'm on the right track. Like,
me too, yeah.
Like, this podcast kind of came to be because we were like, there's something out there that both of us, I think it's been good for both of us to have this, you know, like, it's helped us direct our lives and to help us to focus in on, you know, Christ a little bit more for us personally, but also to share. You know, that's important, you know, to share our insights and share what you believe in. And so...
Yeah, well, and we hear, you know, your testimony is the most powerful conversion, or your testimony is one of the most powerful things on earth. And so it's like, by sharing your testimony, like, not just us, but like everybody. Share your testimony to everybody, because it's so powerful, and God gave it to you for a reason.
Yeah,
so.
and it helps you to, again, have that smile moment in your life, too. I think sharing your testimony is one of the greatest things you can ever do to continue to have that spiritual mindset. Yes. That we've talked about so many times.
And we will continue to talk about it
because it's so important. Yes. If the prophet says it, you know, there's got to be something to it.
Gotta listen to the prophet. Think celestial.
Think celestial. Yes. And smile.
Yeah. But, yes. Well, thank you guys so much for listening today. We're so happy that we got to talk about the talk Think Celestial. If you have any questions or comments about it, feel free to message us. We'd love to hear what you thought about this talk as well. We know it's such a great talk, and we know that listening to the prophet will greatly impact and bless your lives. And we're so grateful that you listened today. Well, we love you guys so much, and we will see you guys next week.
Bye!